Do you actually want to wait and see if some people show up? Well, we're live.
Yeah.
Not that means anything.
Oh, look, my hair's awful. Sweet. Hi.
Oh, I just got a notification. I think Crisco went live.
God. There again, but they should shut up and go away.
I mean,
So
it's
relevant.
only been months since they've been on.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So,
did you not want to wait and see if anybody actually shows up?
Oh, look.
Hey!
Good. Now, welcome, everyone, to the next episode of the Foally of Man, the new season of the Foally of Man. My name is Chris, and with me here today,
Robert.
Now, how the show goes, if for those uninitiated, I like My Little Pony. He doesn't care for
I don't care for My Little Pony. I keep trying to get out, and they keep pulling me back in.
So, part of this was, in the last season, we looked over a book called Fallout Equestria, which was a blending of Fallout and ponies, in a fantastically beautiful and terrible way. I'm trying to remember how you described it, and I can't. Oh, hi, Smith.
It's the world of Fallout and My Little Pony together.
Well, you said it was a blended explosion of awesomeness or something like that.
I'm sure. Yeah.
Okay. Anyway,
I don't remember all my own aphorisms.
Who would? I'm not a professional quote maker. So, as part of our due diligence and promise to various people, we are now covering Origin Story, which is interesting because I've never actually read it. And for however much I love Fallout Equestria, it's weird that I wouldn't write the pseudo-ish, not a follow-up, but kind of like an exploration on the world space by the original author. It's kind of weird. I just never dedicated the time to it. And it's kind of not set in Fallout Equestria, which is one reason.
By the way, could we say off the top of the key, hey, we missed you.
Yeah.
We are sorry that we are such absolute pieces of shit and have been gone for so long. Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a bit.
My wife and I had a baby. You've been working all the time. I've been working all the time. And so from the bottom of whatever you could call what's left of our hearts, we're sorry for being absent.
I'd like to think it's a whiskey flask at this point.
That would be nice. Also, apparently I'm dying. 2 weeks ago, I bruised or broke a couple ribs. So if I'm coughing through the episode, that's why.
Yeah.
Bar fight, right? No, it was a flag football, as it were.
Somebody reached out and touched him.
Reach out and touch me. Boom, did, boom, did. Oh, oops, I don't want to get sued.
Okay, yeah. That's close enough for them to take us down. So, in this, we've actually split it up. The book itself, the origin story, is about as long as one of the not longest, but longer chapters. If you were to break the chapters apart, there's about 5 chapters that are this length. It's very difficult. It was difficult for us to actually do it in one go. And that's because its pacing is much different, I think. There's also not any audio resource for Robert to consume it while he's driving. So.
It's a little circuitous, too. It hops around a little bit.
It does.
The perspectives continue to change.
Yeah. Does a good job splitting it. It's interesting. It would be very challenging for this. It's literally we are seeing the writings of A.K. Yearling, the author, from the future after the events of Fallout Equestria, but from her when she was still in the war, trying to find what the zebras were doing in Tenochtitlan, as well as writing her next novel. And so it's like these 3 different layers. And mind you, they only go over that first layer in the prologue. So I don't know if we'll go back to that. We only went over that first layer in the prologue, but he keeps switching back between A.K. Yearling and her book that she's writing and how it's kind of flipping in between.
So essentially it's the robot ghost of Christmas past from the future.
From the future. Millions of years ago, the red ape. So there's that.
Our whole audience probably doesn't get that reference. It's so old now.
Don't tell me that. Don't tell me that. But so it's a little interesting in that regard. We start out with her going back to a homestead she had near there. In real life, this is going to be really weird to cover because I don't know whether to describe it as, I don't know what the framing is going to be for each portion.
Well, there's even notes in the origin story about what style should I write this in.
Yeah. It's very mental, very mental. Thankfully, not Ulysses level of mental. I don't think I could take that.
You mean run-on sentences?
Yeah.
Trot-on sentences? What would it still be a run-on sentence in the Ponyverse?
Gallop-on sentence.
Gallop-on sentences?
Gallop-on sentences.
Oh, wow. I'll be darned. Dash-on sentences?
Cape-on sentences.
Oh, great. Oh, I gotta get my mind back in the realm of ponies. The realm of ponies.
Now, this is also going to be very confusing for you because you don't know about Daring Do.
It's another one of those situations where it's like, I'm sure this name means something to y'all. It means jack and shit to me.
Okay, so in the I've got to just expose this because otherwise it's not going to make any damn sense. So when Rainbow Dash broke a wing from being a dumbass and pushing herself too hard, she ended up in the hospital and ended up being really bored recovering in the hospital with a broken wing.
Yeah.
And so Twilight, the local self-insert Mary Sue nerd that she is, gave her a book and said, "Here, read this. It's Daring Do." It's very Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
Indiana Jones.
It's very,
it's Indiana Jones. But so she wanted to put it off and she didn't want to read it because she's not one of those bookworm losers.
I'm not a nerd who
I don't read books. I flip them. So she finally caves after being so bored that she just can't take it anymore and realizes she's really into it. And now in later episodes, they actually try to confront the author because she becomes this massive fan of the series. And when they confront the author, they realize the author is Daring Do. And these are actually memoirs of her own life. And so there's this kind of weird moment where it is and isn't and strange. It was kind of weird. So the more you try to apply reality to that scenario, the weirder it gets.
So help me get this straight. So the story, which is told from the perspective of Daring Do, is written by AK.
Yes.
Great.
And also she's another character within the book.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
AK is Daring Do.
What? Oh God.
That's what I said. It's memoirs of her life. She's Daring Do. But in the story, Daring Do and AK are two separate characters. So either KKAT's going to pull the biggest rabbit out of the hat with them like combining forces like Voltron or the Saiyan combination.
We are Daring Do. Oh wait, you mean Fusion?
I'm not doing that. So yeah,
he's not a joiner. He won't join anything.
No. I like tearing shit apart.
You're a lone Colt.
I'm a fucking agent of chaos. Let's be honest.
No, I was explaining to somebody earlier this week. I said something really smart ass, and they're like, "What's wrong with you?" And I said, "Don't you get it? I'm the antagonist to everyone else's story."
Which reminds me of something a coworker of mine said, where he said, "You know what? I figured it out. 2012, the world really ended. I'm stuck in hell, and you're here to torment me."
I love it. I love it.
So I have used that many times now. Going back to the story, however, we learned that the zebras have moved into the Tenochtitlan Basin. I hope I'm spelling that right. And they're doing something there. And so, being that she's kind of the expert from the area, I don't even know what you would call that. Not really the princesses as much as the equestrian governance has requested that she go down and find out what the hell they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is actually before most of the war had spun up, and so it's still kind of early fighting. Yeah. And we learned throughout that they're actually attempting to recreate this ancient technology used to
right. And what's the name of it? It's something that is the equivalent of the power of
Rasmuden's shield.
Yeah,
Rasmuden's shield. I can't remember. I forgot to write it down. But they're trying to control the sun. They're trying to, because what do the ponies have over the zebras in terms of war? The controlling of the celestial bodies. That's pretty damning. And so they're trying to find some way to undermine that so they can gain control and maybe even get an upper hand.
Sure. And this is post Nightmare Moon, if I remember correctly.
Well, yeah, all this is
It's,
post-Nightmare Moon.
Nightmare Moon. Yeah, because it's
Nightmare Moon happened 1,000 years before the war.
Right.
So there's that. And she's constantly.
But we should say that the relic, the power that the relic has, is similar to that of the power of one of the elements of harmony.
Yeah,
and they even go on to talk about the that we think of the princesses as being all powerful, that nothing can surpass them, but in fact the elements of harmony are stronger than them.
Yeah, because
there are spirits that are stronger than them.
Well, yeah, the thing about you're in a magical universe, there are going to be certain statics within it. The elements of harmony are merely manifestations of static truths, you could say.
There was some story about Chrysalis and Celestia.
Oh,
what does that mean?
Yeah,
it was something about limiting the power of Celestia.
Yeah. Okay. So in the show, one of the episodes was Twilight's brother. By the way, she had a brother. Did you not know?
No.
They sure as shit didn't tell anybody until the episode happened.
How many seasons did they have before they actually had a male?
Well, no, they had Big Mac.
Okay.
I mean, he was
season 1.
Yeah, I think he was even like the first episode.
I just remember you telling me that there was this big stink forever that it's like there's no male ponies.
Well, it's not a male focus now, and I think it's because they are, like I said before, a matriarchal society. They're a society which is led by the
matriarchal.
Don't be a misogynist.
Oh, hey, hooves up. No misogyny here.
But going back, they on their way to the wedding that her brother was going to have, as he was captain of the guard. He's going to have it in Canterlot, the Royal Guard. They find out that it is under attack. The city has been threatened. Now, this is actually came out after. I think it came out like right after or like right at the end of Fallout Equestria's being written. So KKAT came up with the shield bubbles before the show did.
Okay.
The shield bubble covering Canterlot. Yeah, because they had that in the episode.
I mean, it's not really the first time a shield has been used in a bubble form to protect something.
No. It's just weird. There keep being things in the show that come from this come from Fallout Equestria, and everybody's like, yeah, like the memory orbs that they put into Twilight's castle that are memory orbs, and it's like, okay, now see here, show.
Well, really, Harry Potter beat them to that. Decades beforehand.
Well, I mean, those have been things for a long time. So, I mean, what are holodiscs really from Star Wars?
Yeah.
But pseudo memory orbs.
Sure.
Anyway,
you don't like any comparisons to Harry Potter at all.
Well, I'm just becoming more and more bitter towards it as my life goes on.
Like everything in your life.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Including me. You asshole. Okay. So, in that episode of the show, there's an invasion that is going to happen. There's a threat against Canterlot, and there's an invasion, and the invasion ends up being a race called the Changelings.
Oh yes, you mentioned the Changeling War, right?
Yeah, and they're creatures which look like ponies that can shapeshift into ponies, and what they do is they're effectively a mix of succubi and vampires, but with love fires.
So they suck the love out of the room?
No, they don't suck the love out of it. They feed off of love.
Oh, okay.
And so they disguise them. That what they do is
So they encourage love to feed off of it?
No, they kidnap ponies that are in loving relationships and disguise themselves as one of the ponies and feed off of the love in the relationship.
Gotcha.
That's where I come up with the succubus thing.
Gotcha.
And you can kind of, I was going to show it to you so you can draw the comparisons yourself, but it's weird that both Cadence and Chrysalis, because Chrysalis actually takes the form of Cadence, which is going to be Shining Armor's fiance. I just may make you watch the damn episode because this is harder to explain than I thought it was going to be.
No. Nobody wants that.
You might actually like it.
They want it, but I don't want that.
You might, your wife may like it. I'll take that back. Your wife might actually really like it. That episode, not the whole show.
Okay. Just that episode. The idea of kidnapping someone and forcing them to love you, she'd really like that. Is that what you're saying?
It's very Disney. It's very Disney. Which it is. I mean, let's be honest. Good Disney's dark as shit. And the chat disappeared. Goodbye, chat. Hopefully everything is good with that. And it didn't just die on us.
I mean, Looks like we still have internet.
Oh, yeah, we're here. Sweet. Oh, look, it's me.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah, don't know what that was. Anyway, momentary difficulties. So going back into the into the episode, we're switching back and forth between the two, and A.K. Yearling is writing her. I think she kind of described it as her last book.
Yeah,
the last one she wanted to write. Like she had written all that she wanted to write, all the memoirs she wanted to talk about, and so now she's like, well, I have to write something else. I feel like there's something that still needs to be told, and so she goes back and oh baby, she goes back and decides to write how she came to be in a way.
Her origin story.
Her origin story. Click.
They said the name. They said the name.
Now, in the origin story, parallel to what's going on within the events in Tenochtitlan, is that several students go to Tenochtitlan. This is why this is very confusing. It's taking place in the same place in a pseudo-fantastical timeline, and then the story, which is the pseudo-fantastical timeline in the pseudo-fantastical timeline.
Yeah. At a certain point, you just got to let the art wash over you, you know?
Yeah, the art. Now, it actually is this. Now, to be fair,
I mean,
this is very well done. This is very well written. It really is. And I actually am not as confused when reading it as I'm saying it. I realize it's harder to explain because I can't do it. But I think KKAT did a really good job of. I don't know why that thing keeps disappearing.
It's okay. It's fine. We're here.
Fine. It's fine. So it starts with Daring Do going down. They're going to go to the Zebralands to investigate some ruins. She's a student at a college, and they're into equipology,
archaeology. They use the term archaeology.
Oh, okay, I was going to go anthropology, but that doesn't work because they're not. I mean, they're equines.
No. Yes.
So.
Yeah, the term archaeology comes up.
So I'm going to go with equipology. I'm just going to stick with that.
Are you an equipologist?
I am an equipologist. So they meet in this house with somebody who's gushing about the various things they can find in the ruins.
Sure.
Along with this family, and they're all going to go down there as one, which is where we meet Fleetwing as well as A.K. Yearling.
Yep.
And it's hinted at that A.K. Yearling is kind of a black sheep.
Yeah.
From the fact that not only does nobody seem to notice that she's in the room or talk to her or even...
But the family portrait has her tried to be erased out of it.
Yes.
It's like,
what happened here?
But it's interesting the way Daring Do, excuse me, as I'm dying. It's interesting the way that Daring Do is describing AK. It's very affectionately.
Yeah.
Which is even more upsetting if it's being written about yourself. Like, it's just like...
It's such a weird self-insert. It's like, yeah. I don't get it.
But it's funny. I mentioned before we started, I said, the love interest. And you said, well, that'd be kind of weird.
Yeah.
But it is... She's kind of being introduced by a love interest because Daring Do's like, I need to talk to her.
Yes. Sensually.
Because every relationship in this book is a lesbian relationship.
Gotta talk to her face to ass.
Yeah, man.
Okay.
Get in there and whinny.
So, they also introduced guns. Because this was kind of like a weird point to the book. It's like, how the hell did guns get invented? Because technology moves through evolution. You don't just have something exist that didn't exist before to such an nth degree with no other explanation for its existence. Armored Core.
Are you saying that you're not a equestrian creationist?
Also, like most mech things, Japanese mech things, they never explain where the hell these things came from. They're like, oh yeah, we just made giant people and they go in space. That's really cool. Why not just make a spaceship? Because they're giant people and they're better. Why not just they're people? They don't explain any part of it.
Yeah, but Gundams are really cool.
Yeah, but they still could have done the thing of, it was farm equipment that we just put cannons on, and we kept making it more cannons and less farm equipment, and eventually we got the walkers. Oh, that's the first time. Chaotic Babies.
Welcome.
Yes, I don't.
You know what? You know what I love to see as we were losing some subscribers from, of course, not making content for months.
Congratulations, us.
It was neat to see that we were gaining subscribers and people were finding the show since it was complete, since the first book was complete.
Yeah.
So yes, welcome. We're very happy to have you. Hopefully this is going to be a more regular thing again. We felt really bad, or Chris felt really bad, that if we were not going to be making the My Little Pony content like we kept saying we were going to, we shouldn't then make other content, because then people would just say, why aren't you making the content we want to watch?
Yeah. I mean, most of the people who are here for Fallout Equestria,
Sure.
not for us to play games. It's a nice aside. Nice aside.
No,
but not the point.
I don't think we're going to do, on a side note, I don't think we're going to do, I mean, we may still do some game stuff, but there's far more interesting things for us to talk about.
Yeah, especially because there's like a million game things, and we're not that entertaining.
Or good. I mean, or good at them.
No. You watch our gaming review, our gaming, not reviews, but our gaming playthroughs. If you like seeing game over screens, I
spent nearly an hour yesterday trying to do the Kokiri Village skip in Ocarina of Time, and then I realized that I was doing the Master Quest version on the GameCube, and I'm pretty sure they patched it.
Yeah.
If you know that they haven't,
hey,
just tell me that I'm really bad. So, well, yeah. Hey, KKAT.
So anyway, we
the author's here. We got to say good things now.
It's great. It's great.
Yeah,
I don't hate it at all.
Way better than the original. I mean, it's the original.
Yeah,
it's all of it.
Yeah, I totally read it.
You know what'd be great is if we hadn't read it.
And we were just bullshitting.
Spitballing. So yeah,
this is about how Little Pip's mom just got it on.
Yeah, she was just banging it,
Yeah, every stallion in the entire stable was great. No. Why is my face so red? I guess it's hot in here.
It's great. We should do a time where you and I just have a couple of drinks. Speaking of which, sober October. Woo! No drinks in October. There you go.
There's a lot of things for October, I've noticed.
Yeah, I know, right? It's very spoopy. Yeah, I like the part with the words. It'd be really fun, though, is if you and I had a couple of scotches and we just spitballed like what happens in the story afterwards.
Oh, God, yeah. Okay, so.
What would a bunch of idiots think the story's going to do?
Going back, we are now on a vessel arriving at a zebra port.
Yes.
As explained, the Tenochtitlan is in these zebra lands.
It has a very, you're mentioning earlier an Indiana Jones feel. It also has a very much like the Mummy feel.
Yeah. Just a general archaeological adventure.
Old school archaeological creature feature.
Yeah.
Well, it is a creature feature. We meet a sphinx.
Yeah.
It's funny, immediately from the description, I'm like, well, it's not a manicore and it's not this. And I was like, I wonder if it's a sphinx. Bingo.
Yep. And so Daring Do hears a voice from underneath a cloth and sees a caged sphinx, which starts asking her questions.
Well, not questions, riddles.
Riddle, yes, right. Isn't a riddle just a question with an answer?
Does every riddle have an answer?
That's an interesting riddle. I'll have to get back to you on that. I can't remember. I actually figured out what the hell the riddle is. Like when I first read it, I was like, "Oh, that's easy. It's this." I can't remember what the riddle is now, because I wrote it a while back, preparing for us to do this episode, and then it kind of got pushed back.
Well, you know what? I'm sure KKAT will put it in the comments.
I especially like the part with the words.
Yeah,
that's great. So, when they are docked at port, another ship comes up to the dock like it's going to dock, and everybody's like, what the hell? Go away. And then suddenly an explosion.
Bam, it just comes right into it. Yep. No, I mean, it crashes into
it. But then it says both of the ships are enveloped in this like black smoke, a sentient floating smoke. And zebra agents come out to attack them and try to kill them, the students. And we're like, what the hell going on? And the Zebra Legion defeats all of them, but not before a whole bunch of chaos ensues. And Daring Do releases the Sphinx. Just lets the Sphinx out of the cage.
Let loose the Sphinxes of war.
Well, it's a shame that the Sphinx was in a cage underneath underneath a canvas rather than the canvas surrounding the entire thing, because then she could have let the cat out of the bag.
Oh, God. I was wondering where you were going to land that plane.
I landed it in a field 50 miles back.
That's pretty
Just,
bad.
with a downward angle at about 200 miles an hour.
We kind of went over. Part of what they're looking for is they're looking for the tree of life. Yeah, that's part of what they're looking for. But they also say that in these woods, there's trees of ice, there's trees of fire, and that's what these that there's magical arrows that are made from these elements, fire arrows, ice arrows, and that comes into play in the fight.
Yep.
And it's a very exciting fight, but also in Indiana Jones fashion, nobody dies.
Yeah.
So,
except Indiana Jones movies had a lot of people die.
Well, yeah, but it's like PG.
It's family friendly.
Family friendly, yeah.
He died in a family friendly manner.
Yeah.
He was burned alive, screaming in a way that the kids can enjoy.
Mommy, I hate the part where the Nazi melts.
Oh, hard to watch when you're a kid.
Yeah, it's terrifying. You have nightmares from it.
Uh-huh.
And there's no preparation for it. It just cuts to somebody's face melting.
Or the not the Goblet of Fire. What the hell am I thinking of? The Cup of Life.
Oh, yes.
The Holy Grail.
Yeah.
Bread of the Covenant, the Cup of Life.
You're talking about Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade.
No, yeah, I mean, there have probably been a few crusades.
The one with Sean Connery.
Yeah. Even though it really wasn't much of a crusade, let's be honest.
No.
Not much Templars invading the Holy Land.
I was going to say, not one Muslim died. I mean, come on. It's not a crusade unless a couple of Muslims die, right?
I'm pretty sure they probably did.
You at least got to sack Constantinople, right?
Well, that's what the Crusades are about. No, they actually do. The Legion does actually kill off all the Ford agents. In fact, I think they actually kill all of them and don't actually get any to interrogate. And then the third chapter, the last one that we did.
No, that was the third chapter.
No, the third chapter, there's a little bit more to it.
Yes.
They kind of chide Daring for letting the Sphinx out. They're like, you know what? We're not going to let you into Tenochtitlan anymore because you were a butt. And effectively, that's what it is. However, that sounds really childish and not in touch with reality. If you've actually sat in on or watched any type of congressional meeting or UN meeting or anything, that's exactly how they act. That's entirely how they act.
I remember chapter 3 ending with Daring Do running away. That was the end of chapter 3.
I don't know. I might have read ahead.
I think you read ahead.
Okay, I read ahead.
He read ahead.
I read ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say Daring Do is running away at the end of it.
Mm.
And in fact, Daring Do, it's you must flee, and Daring Do realizes, well, I'm an athlete. I don't just have to fly away. I can also run quickly, and that's what he does.
Mm.
She does, sorry.
It does. That thing over there.
No, they say she.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm just throwing a wrench into the gears.
Ponies have sex.
Yeah.
They have gender.
Yeah. And sometimes when they're really frustrated, they have to go finish in the toilet.
Great.
Which is the one thing I'll never forget is we're listening to that episode of Fall to Crestria, where we were doing the flashback and Apple Snacks is like, well, guess I'm not getting any. So he starts going to the bathroom and Robert just about has a freak out moment like, no, I am not listening to this.
It's just hard to imagine hooves doing that.
I mean, you work with a yacht.
I guess so. That just doesn't seem satisfying.
It seems like it would be more pleasurable just to jam it between this toilet seat and the rim and just go to town.
It's like treating it like a bottle of ketchup.
Okay, let's say.
Oh, I don't even know where to go from that. So for this first episode where we're talking about origin story, we were talking about the preamble and then chapters 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
So that's where we leave off. Apparently Daring Do gets they get upset at Daring Do in the next chapter because Chris read.
I could have sworn that was chapter 3.
Nope.
So no, well, I mean, I could always be wrong.
I would say you are definitely wrong. Here you go. See?
The chase, third pad ends. Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess I read ahead.
I'm going to raise the roof. I'm going to do something that hasn't been done in 20 years.
Ugh, you're so white.
Yeah, I am white. Says the albino in the room. I mean, look at the difference in skin tone between Chris and I. Jesus Christ, it's like a copper tone ad, like before and after.
Yep, I read ahead.
Apparently, our gestures were in sync. So this is the portion of the show where we fuck around as if we haven't already.
Yeah, I think there's going to be a little question and answer time with the audience. If you guys have any questions for us, being that we haven't done a hangout or anything like that in a longer time. So if you guys have any questions now.
So for those listening to the audio podcast, this is the end of the tape. Turn to side B.
For those who were born after 1997, side B is a completely strange concept to you.
Oh man, looks like somewhere we got a boot. There we go. Or actually, maybe I can actually give them. Oh, there we go.
Put user in timeout. Yay.
Yeah. Don't need a bunch of political messages on this.
For something that's not related to what anyone was talking about.
How about you answer that question first, Chris? Chris, what is your fourth favorite color?
Fourth favorite color.
Don't say a person. Don't say a person. Don't say a person. Don't say a person.
Ethnicity. I was actually going to go with that weird like color between yellow and gold. But it's not quite mustard.
That mucusy yellow.
No. That's on the green. That's more on the green end. I think more like the orange end. But it's not quite mustard. It's a little more vibrant. I'd say that's my fourth favorite.
Your fourth favorite. So it's kind of like an electric orange.
Yeah. That's it.
A neon umber.
Yes.
I wonder if there actually is a neon umber. Chartreuse.
Maybe. I don't know the names of colors.
Periwinkle.
Oh,
here's one of my favorite colors just because of the name. Aubergine.
Ochre.
Yeah, ochre. That's a good one. I do like umber for like antiquing effects.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, well, burnt umber.
Also known as royal purple, which is one of the weirdest origins for a
I prefer Pantone 337-9.
I'm going to break the fuck out of those glasses when I smash your nose. Jesus Christ. Anyone who quotes Pantone colors and doesn't think of themselves as a massive tool is that much bigger of a massive tool.
No, I actually don't know. That probably is not even the right code for Pantone. I have no idea. All I know is I'm not paying for them.
Well, that's the problem. Is that we make an industrial standard? Oh, how much does it cost? Oh, it costs the It costs the commercial side a whole bunch of money, and it costs the end users money. That's not how it works. Industrial standards should only charge the industry, not the user.
Yeah, but so it goes. The other question we received from Why Did 666: how's fatherhood? Fatherhood's great. It's the best thing I've ever done. It's amazing. We get more sleep than we expected we would. He's a sweet little boy. He's everything a little baby should be, but he's very easygoing. So
just wait until you're second.
Yeah, right.
And third.
Yeah.
And seventh.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
And 13th.
You'll be an uncle like 10 times over.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's
because he's just going to drop him off with me when he's sick of him. That's what's going to happen.
It's insanely rewarding. That's all I can say. For those of you who don't have children and are considering,
you were actually at one time going to tell the people what the name of your boy was.
Oh, I could have sworn I did.
You may have, but I don't remember it.
Okay. He's Atticus. His name is Atticus.
And not Hezekiah.
No, not Hezekiah. You really wanted Hezekiah.
I really wanted
way
Hezekiah.
To go for an old biblical name. Atticus is not a biblical name. No. It's like Atticus Finch from To Kill a Mockingbird. Mm-hmm. So, I'm not an idiot. I love literature. I read all the time. Mm-hmm. Like I get the crux of the show. Like people think like, oh, Chris is the one who read the book. He loves to read. Actually, he hates to read.
I hate reading.
He's a Philistine when it comes to literature.
Yeah.
But yeah, I read all the time. So, yeah. Which was kind of good. It was kind of nice. Now I read it on my phone, downloaded, but it was kind of nice to go back to reading a story, even as much as I listened to so much.
Yeah.
Why did 666 says, did you read the sequel to To Kill a Mockingbird? No, and I could get into why, but it would take a long time. I'll just sum it up. That book was discovered and released under questionable means.
Yeah.
Basically, Harper Lee is not really of sound mind. I mean, she's got memory issues. So it screamed of somebody being taken advantage of, and somebody taking advantage of an elderly person, especially an iconic one this such.
Yeah.
Really bothered me. The other thing is Harper Lee, her entire life said, I had one story to tell. I had one story to tell. And if you publish another book, it fucking ruins that.
Yeah.
So the short answer to that is no, I have not read the sequel. What is it? Go Tell the Watchman. So
I don't know. Yeah. I don't read. Certainly haven't been listening to audiobooks of terrible things.
Yeah. But anyways, yeah, have children. Children are great. People talk about the world being a shitty place and you don't want to bring kids into it. That's the wrong way of looking at it. If you think the world's a crappy place, bring good people into it. Raise good people.
Yeah.
And make the world better that way. That's why I'm going to have like 10 kids, you know?
Yeah. And that's that.
We're not going to have 10 kids. Maybe if Chris marries a Catholic, he might have that many.
You never know. Find myself a good Catholic girl. I approve that perspective of having children.
I have a question. So you know the term hirsute, right? As in something that's made specifically for you.
Yeah.
Isn't technically any expensive fursuit a hirsute fursuit? Because when you buy a $30,000 furry costume, it's absolutely hirsute. So it's a hirsute fursuit.
Yeah, I guess just any custom piece would technically fall into that. So yeah.
Yeah. There you go.
Spliff agrees.
Oh, Spliff. Admit it. You missed me, didn't you?
I miss Spliff. I can tell you that much.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah,
the microphone almost looked like you had a big sweaty spot on your shirt.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, God. Nasty.
Fantastic. Otherwise, let's see. 30,000. How much tech did you stuff into there? 3,000 should be plenty. I mean, you're looking at some people who just have never bothered pricing a fursuit. So.
I've definitely never priced it. I just remember that Adam was joking on Your Movie Sucks about how, like, you know, they were talking about somebody having a fursuit, and he's like, no, like a really nice one, like a $30,000 like custom.
I mean, you probably have room for like bioorganic animatronics. So like, when you move part of the suit, it'll electronically move other parts.
I'm sorry. What if you...
No, I did see one where the eyes were like balanced. So whenever they looked at somebody and they moved their head up and down, the eyes would actually stay static.
Here's a more bothersome thought. Let me take y'all down this path. We're going down it, so watch out. Let's say you were born biologically female. However, your fursona is well endowed and definitely male.
Yeah.
That could get expensive quick.
No, it's just called Bad Dragon.
No, I'm talking about like an actual realistic animal's pudendum.
Yes, Bad Dragon.
Something that retracts like a dog.
I mean, Bad Dragon on a spring. I mean,
cooling systems. Yeah, cooling systems. Yeah.
Yeah, you'd probably want one. I imagine. Let's see. What is hair mostly used for in the animal kingdom? Keeping yourself from freezing. Wonder what happens when you jam 30 of those people into a convention center.
Oh God, it's worse. It's worse than BlizzCon.
Is it though? Is it really?
Oh, wait till the furries overtake BlizzCon.
Who says they haven't?
Except they all roleplay as the hamster from Overwatch.
Oh God.
Yeah. I love how all of the fursona talk got us another like.
Oh boy.
That is really unsettling, guys and gals.
And furries. I only started replaying Overwatch.
Chris and I don't play Overwatch.
I actually did play it once. couple times.
I have a baby, and he spends a lot of time jerking off.
It was a long time ago. A lot of time.
Yeah, like,
hours.
Like, really involved, especially with the.
I actually have an entire market plan, investors, entire stock portfolio too.
Well, and with that HTC Vive, you just disappear into like a sex dungeon. Chris and I keep going back to Team Fortress 2. As stupid as it is.
Slight delay in Firefox versus Chrome. Not surprising. Well, I mean, think about it. One's owned by Google and one's not. Which do you think Google is going to prioritize on their own platform?
Yeah, sounds about right.
Yeah.
Who uses Firefox?
I use WaterFox. It's like Firefox, except not Firefox. And it doesn't look hideous as sin. Unlike your Chrome. Why did Chrome do this? It looks hideous as fucking sin. Actually, it looks like Edge. The Edge browser. But yes, any other questions for us? Any other comments, concerns, queries, riddles, rhymes?
KKAT uses Firefox.
Yeah. WaterFox is just taking the open source branch and splitting it apart. So I can use all the same plugins and everything. It's just, it's not as, because it lags behind on features, it can be more secure because they kind of wait for the security updates before they integrate it or implement it.
Firefox lost me a few years ago because it was getting so RAM heavy, but I know they've done some things to make it better since.
Yeah. Wait, you're talking about how Firefox is RAM heavy and you're using Chrome?
Well, at the time, Chrome was faster. Now it chugs.
Well, I mean, knock lupus. All web browsers are customizable to a point. I mean, you can still go on to Internet Explorer and download all the toolbars you could possibly handle.
You get that Yahoo tool.
All you got to do is just go to Google and click on a few links, and suddenly you've customized your entire browser and didn't know it.
Oh, that reminds me of one of those email leaks before the election. Somebody was describing Hillary Clinton's web browser, and that it was like half the page was those toolbars. Which I just love the idea of an old person being like, well, it said I had to install it.
So what comes after Origin Stories, or we get KKAT to write new content for you guys to review? I mean, let's be honest here. Who wouldn't want the latter? Probably not going to happen, but who wouldn't want it? Do you think
KKAT? I mean, KKAT doesn't like us. She
Yeah.
tolerates us.
Yeah. There's a list I've been meaning to aggregate and post somewhere. I have no idea where we would post it. It's actually going to be what we do in order. I think we were going to do this, and then we were going to start moving into the television show as well. I think the next one after Origin Story was going to be Guys of Chaos, simply because I love Guys of Chaos.
Okay.
And I'm biased.
I mean, really, you are the Capitan of this shit show. So.
Yeah. Let's see.
Bad Horses 20 minutes.
Okay. It's a short set in the FOE world.
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, that's fine.
Yeah.
Any new book that'll be the next season. Now there's not going to be a 5-month layover.
Yeah. Or we'll just jam it into this season probably, because I mean, having one book per season just means you have 75 seasons all containing a few episodes, because very few stories are going to be as long as the original.
Yeah. Well,
we'll just I think we'll just do seasons based on if we have to.
I guess I just want to make sure that we break it up into playlists, and in the event that somebody's like, oh, I really want to hear this particular story, it's there. That's where to find it. I mean, that's the thing about the main book, KKAT's book.
Read Pink Eyes, then Guys after FOE. I read Pink Eyes, but not Guys. Guys is good.
Guys and Dolls.
Like I've said before, and I've said a million times, it's not as deep as Fallout Equestria. The characters are far more simple. But
which Guys or Pink Eyes?
Guys. But even though it's still kind of the same thing, it's just more of the same. But because you love what it was originally, you'll love that too, kind of thing.
Yeah.
It doesn't do as much in developing the characters or the location or the events, but it does enough to keep you invested, interested, and loving the heroes, hating the villains, and all that good jazz. And a great ending. So
I look forward to it. But yeah, as for me watching the show, I mean, we're going to put that off for, I mean, isn't part of the point of the show that I don't get the pony crap?
Yeah.
And to judge books like, do they stand on their own four hooves?
He's trying to do whatever he can to not watch that show.
I really don't want to watch the show. I'm glad that y'all like it.
The only one that I actually want you to see is the royal wedding, simply because it's actually, I think it's pretty good. Nods.
KKAT nods, but I'm wondering if she nods to the
which part?
Yeah, the comment of I said earlier that she doesn't like us at all,
or that she's not going to write another thing ever again, or
she's so mysterious.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Hey, you guys do me a favor and read The Hooves of Fate so that I know what happens after the point where I stopped reading it. Yeah, KKAT loves Hooves of Fate. No, no lie, she loves Hooves of Fate, and I've never read it, so well, I guess we will have to add that to the list somewhere. But like I said, I've got to aggregate a list.
Years of content. Hours of useless jibing about stories most people will never read.
I mean, they should.
Do you know how hard it is to explain this show to friends and family?
See, that's where I have the advantage.
You don't have.
I have no friends and I have no family.
It's safe for Robert to say. I'm not going to be some freaking triggered like, oh, here they go.
It doesn't have explicit pony fucking.
It's a part of life.
I think that
I'm not some virgin. It's just it's like
unpleasant.
It's just weird. To have an anthropomorphic horse jacking off into a toilet. That's a little weird.
Well, they're not really anthropomorphic though.
They stand on two hooves occasionally. For God's sakes, I've seen the shot with the one sitting on a bench like this.
And everyone lost their damn mind because of it.
I mean, they pick and choose when they have human-like qualities.
Yeah.
Bipedal-like qualities.
Yeah, but it's not common.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Except
definitely
they use their hooves to play instruments and stuff.
Well, I mean, what are you gonna do? You ever tried playing a piano with your face?
Yes.
It didn't work out too well.
No, it's great. You run your nose down and do the slide.
That's called cocaine. Anyway, I don't really know what else. Do you guys have? If you guys don't have anything else, I don't really know what to say at this point. But think of us some questions if you can't immediately, or if something comes up, make sure to leave them in the comments section down below.
Thanks for coming back.
Mm-hmm.
Even though we were supposed to tell people we were going to stream today.
Yeah, I don't know why Robert
we
didn't
were
do it.
Supposed to tell.
Yeah.
But we didn't. And yet you are still here.
Yeah.
So thank you very, very much.
Yeah.
It's been a pleasure.
Go back to making my Kahoot. I don't know what that is.
I don't know what it is, but it sounds sensual.
Mm-hmm. Or surly.
Take your pick. Yeah. So, for Chris, I'm Robert, and this has been the Foally of Man Season 2.
Episode 1.
Episode 1, Origin Story.
Origin Story.
Hell yeah. It's good to be back. In black.
Yeah.
And covered in dandruff.
Dandruff, just everywhere.
Yeah. All right. Bye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.